Nadeem Aslam's The Blind Man's Garden. Summary of Chapter 16. Michal is a prisoner living in a mountain house owned by a warlord. The chain at Michal's ankles doesn't allow him to run, but he is planning to escape. There are 6 guards, the warlord's men, on a routine watch. Michal doesn't know anything about Joe. Since October, Michal has been sold among various warlords. Now, the current warlord doesn't even know his name. Michal has heard some fearsome stories about the current warlords. The warlords force him to provide contact address for getting ransom, but he doesn't give any information. Now the only way to take advantage from him is to send him to the construction sites. Wearing chains, Michal would labor hard in order to survive. Otherwise, the warlords would shoot him for being just a mouth to feed. But then being worked to death was another fear. Furthermore, one of the warlord's men complains about his jammed pistol. Michal knows how to fix it, but he doesn't want to do it out of the fear that the same pistol could turn on him at the time of his escape. The warlords want Michal to assist them in a mission of holy theft. There is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu 1400 years old clock at the mosque in Kandahar since 1768. The warlords wish to acquire it to benefit from its miraculous power. The most expert thieves, the father and son team, will join Michal. They will grant freedom to Michal if mission gets successful. Michal doesn't believe them, so he determines to remain alert at every possibility to escape during the journey. When they begin to walk out, Michal, at the spur of the moment, manages to keep a bullet and waistband in his trousers. Michal has known that something is wrong with the engine of vehicle. It can stop working somewhere during the journey. However, they stop for afternoon prayers. Michal finishes the prayer earlier and hurries back into the vehicle. Within 30 seconds, he fixes the bullet in the fuse box near to the steering wheel. The bullet will overheat, discharge, and enter the driver's leg. It will look like someone has shot the driver with a gun. On the way, Michal notices the long footprints of American soldiers. However, Michal wants to cancel the plot, so he forces the driver to stop for evening prayer, but the driver refuses. He wants the driver to be safe, but the bullet explodes and goes into the driver's legs. The driver is the father. The bullet shoots him badly. They don't believe at first, but later they realize that it's a bullet wound. The son gets terrified and says it's a warning from Allah because they are attempting sinful thing to steal the blessed cloak. Therefore they should go back. On this, his father warns him not to talk nonsense. His son is torn between who he fears more, Allah or his father. However, Michal bends the leg of the father with a seat belt. They continue their journey staggeringly. Michal knows that the father and son can't go further along. The same happens. Father and son succumb to move forward. On the other side of the mountain is a ruined helicopter. Michal is now free of chains, and now he is optimistic about everything. His life, Naheed, and Joe. He takes the gun from the father and fires it at the ground. After some time, Michael tells them he wants to go away from them. The son tells him not to disappear, because if he disappears, the warlord back there will torture the family of father and son. Their family is where their master is. But Michael refuses to stop for them. The son then throws religious trap towards Michael and tell him how he can abandon his fellow Muslims in pain like this. He then requests him to carry his father to the mosque. At least Michael agrees. At the mosque, the father begins to die slowly. It is night and Michael falls asleep. In the morning, Michael finds himself with the bearded man from Yemen. Upon Michael's inquiry, the bearded man assures him that there is no cloak of Prophet Muhammad. Additionally, there are 100 more men and women who have been brought and kept here in wait to be taken out of Afghanistan. Michael then realizes that he, along with other men and women, have been sold to American soldiers as suspected terrorists. The Americans pay $5,000 per suspected terrorist. Later on, Michael witnesses the harsh treatment of American soldiers with the innocent prisoners.